Today, the education sphere has multiple ways of making learning more accessible to students of all backgrounds and abilities. To make learning more accessible, students are placed under one of two programs, special education or 504. Today, we're going to break down these programs for you, discuss their similarities and how they're different. Stay tuned for more details. Before we jump into it, be sure to like, follow, and comment if you enjoyed. And make sure to check out our other TenneyTube video here, where we talk about how to best prepare for finals. Special education programs and 504 plans are two types of educational programs designed to help students with disabilities succeed in school. While they share some similarities, there are important differences between them. Special education programs are designed for students who have been identified as having a disability that affects their ability to learn. These programs are governed by the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, and offer a range of services to support the students, such as individual education plans, or IEPs, special education teachers, and related services like speech therapy or occupational therapy. Special education programs are typically more intensive and tailored to the individual needs of the students. To qualify for services under IDEA, students must be diagnosed with one of 13 disabilities, but not all students who need accommodations will qualify for special education. These students are accommodated under a 504 plan. A 504 plan is designed to provide accommodations and modifications for students with disabilities who do not require specialized instruction. These plans are governed by Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act, and provide accommodations and modifications to help students have access with the same curriculum as their peers. Some examples of 504 accommodations include extra time on tests, preferential seating, and assistive technology. One key difference between special education programs and 504 plans is the level of support provided. Special education programs offer more intensive support, including specialized instruction and related services. 504 plans, on the other hand, focus more on accommodations and modifications to help students access the general education curriculum. Because schools are not being provided additional resources for 504 accommodations, it's quite normal to hear from families that they have a 504 accommodation, but they're not useful or being followed by the school. On the other hand, students designated with special education can be released from some annual testing requirements. We hear from some families that because their child has been released from some testing requirements, they do not feel the schools are pushing their child as hard as they could. Another key difference is the identification process. In order to be eligible for special education, students must be evaluated and found to have a qualifying disability that significantly affects their ability to learn. For 504 plans, students need to only have a disability that substantially limits one or more major life activity, such as learning. In conclusion, both special education programs and 504 plans are important resources for students with disabilities. The type of support the student receives will depend on their individual needs and the severity of their disability. Special education programs offer more intensive support, and 504 plans provide accommodations and modifications to help students access the general education curriculum. It's important for parents and educators to work together to determine which program is best suited for each student's needs. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of TenneyTube. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. Be sure to also hit that bell icon to be notified anytime we go live with a new video. See you on the next one.